In the previous episode of Finland in Color, we met Nora Dadi.
I'm Nora. I'm a mixed Finn, born in Finland, and my mother is from Finland, father is from Kuwait. They were divorced when I was 2, and he lives in Kuwait, and he ended up abducting me, so he kidnapped me without my mother's knowledge. He just puts me in the car and drives to the airport, and I find myself in a new country.
When she finally came back, she discovered that being born Finnish didn't mean she was welcome.
I came, with these eyes that Finland cannot be anything but perfect. And I started getting slurs, called names in the street. The rejection became very clear to me. There was this alienation that has happened. So I'm kind of like this, they call it väliinputoja, so a person who has fallen between the cracks.
Eventually, she made peace with her identity and her troubled past.
I work at this moment in Familia. Familia is an NGO for intercultural families. So people like me, not all Finland is bad, not everybody in Finland is racist. Kuwait is not my father. I am proud of being Kuwaiti and a Finn, but I'm proud of the good parts of them. I'll try to work on the bad parts.
But on a gray day in a Finnish winter, one phone call changed everything.
I saw my phone ringing. I recognized it was the doctors. I answered, and the results have come in, and they are positive for cancerous cells. So I was like, okay, what's next?
In this episode, we follow Nora in the fight for her life.
It seems that it has spread, and it is not as simple as we thought it was in the beginning.
I feel a lot of physical pain. I keep passing out and waking up, and that pain is just above my capability. I don't want to live with it. It's too much.
Not every patient might have the Finnish sisu. There are some people like me who need to have things straight. I don't care even if I die. What I need to do before I die. You do not leave me for 2 weeks stressing what's going to happen. I have a family, I have a child, I have a husband.
Finnish society, or the Finnish way, that you don't call unless you can't stand it. And we're not supposed to feel guilty for calling. I smile, we joke. This is how we get through our life. And because we laugh and we joke, people think that I'm okay. And I'm not.
Let's just jump right in. So can you tell me a little bit about sort of like how it actually happened?
In late November, I realized that there was a lump growing in my right breast, and I ended up asking my husband, I don't feel that this is normal. Do you feel that it's normal? He also agreed that it felt a bit not usual. And the thing is, I have large breasts, so so it's sometimes difficult to even see any changes from the outside. It looked fine. It was just when I was in bed, and it was close to my period time. I get pain in my breast, so I start massaging, so the pain would go away. Or would calm down, and then suddenly I feel like, this is weird. They were able to get me an appointment within 2 days, and the doctor did agree that there is something, and she tried to keep me calm by saying it most probably it's a cyst, but we have to double check everything. And they took 4 samples from the same, from the ingrowth, and that was one of the most painful experiences I've had in my life. I was crying, so it was the samples were taken with no anesthetic, nothing on the place. I went back to work that day, where my boss was like, I don't understand why you're at work, because you seem sick. Your face looks yellow. The sample taking was so extreme on my body that I have fallen sick on that day. We were optimistic. We weren't anything. They said that it will take some time to get the results, and when the results are out, the doctor will contact me. So the doctor calls me while I'm at work, and I go through, of course, the shock and everything. I was literally sitting at my laptop, replying to emails. I saw my phone ringing. I recognized it was the doctor's. I answered. She asked me, what are you doing? I said, I was doing emails, but now I'm not. I'm all ears, tell me. She started talking to me in medical terms, so I said, please, speak to me with everyday words. I don't understand what you're saying. She said, the sample has come in, and the results have come in, and they are positive for cancerous cells. So I was like, okay, what's next? This is how I answered her. And then I started feeling that, okay, I started sweating. I'm like, okay, I'm going through nervousness. Now I'm in the office. There are 2 other people. I'm going to get out and walk and stand somewhere where it's a bit private. So I went, I took the news. Then I started realizing that, okay, now I'm going through a shock. So I told the doctor on the phone, like, okay, I'm going through a shock. My brain is stopping to observe, like, anything that you're saying. I can't take anything. Nothing is registering anymore. So maybe we should close the phone and maybe have a call later on. She said, I'll call you next week, Wednesday. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. I said, that's perfect. But like, thank you. Now I need to close because I know I'm going through a shock. So I started walking a bit, and I saw my husband walking far away, and I realized that that's not the person I want to be talking to while I'm going through this. So I went to a very private corner, and I realized I wanted to call my mom, and I was calling suddenly my mom, and I started crying. I broke down, I cried. I don't know how long, so I was crying, and luckily my mom is, used to be a nurse, so she's retired now, but when she knew how to take the shock, she knew how to deal with it and talk to me through it until I calmed down, and then reminding me that how advanced the research, the care of breast cancer has reached, and we are good, and life is good, and Finland is one of the best, which is true. And so I calmed down. I wanted to go back to the inside office, but then I saw a colleague of mine, and I'm like, that's a person I can discuss with. So I went and saw her. So she was the first one to know after my mom. And I was in an anger and in rage. So I was swearing, I was saying like, why us? Like we have to go through periods. We have to go through childbirth. We have to go through our menopause. We have to go through all these kind of extremely tiring experiences as women. And I have to go through this as well. I mean, really. So I was pissed off. So my friend was like supporting me through it. And we spoke. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm good. I can continue the day. So I went. We had some kind of thing happening at the office as well. So I was there, quite normal. Went to my friend's place. We celebrated. We got home. My son went to sleep. I sat next to my husband. I said, okay, I have something to tell you. And I could see the fear in his face. Said, the doctor called today and she said that it is positive for cancer. It's nothing that we need to worry about. It's nothing to stress about. It's going to be taken care of, either by it's going to be most probably an operation. She said it wasn't a big, because it was only like around 2 centimeter the size from the mammography came out. So most probably it's going to be only a simple operation that it gets removed and we will be fine. My husband asked me, can he tell his mom? And I said to him, you can tell her, but you can tell anyone you want for your own mental support. But I don't want them calling me because I'm gonna need to mentally support myself now. I need to understand how do I need to support me. I can't support others going through, oh my God, Nora has cancer. I can't support them. So the next day, he decided not to tell his mom, but to call his brother, who's a doctor. So I spoke to his brother as well, and his brother was like, you really went through all that in one day? Like, you understood that you are going through a shock. You called your mom. You went through the breakdown and crying. You went through your rage and anger. And you were able to sit down and discuss with your partner in a calm, logical way. So you have done what my patients need quite often 3 months to do. I was like, oh really? He's like, yes. So I'm like, okay, good. Maybe it's my studies, maybe it's my experience, maybe my family counselor, it maybe. Quite a lot of this has affected my behavior as well, and me reading myself. And then he did say that Finland is the best and has the highest in breast cancer treatment being successful in whole Europe. So you are in the right country. You're in good hands. That's something you need to understand and you need to feel good. So that gave me a lot of this, great. That's a great news to hear. It took time until I was able to tell my siblings, to tell other people. I wanted to have my doctor's appointments first and actually go through and have a lot of answers. But my mother knew, my mother spoke to my sister. My sister did not call me or anything. She left me until I was ready to speak and so on, which took like a good month or so. Looking back, I think the most difficult part was telling my children. I think my son was easier because we somehow got a plan. When they went to Bahrain, one of his uncles, one of my brother-in-laws, have survived leukemia, and I asked him, could you tell our son the story of your survival, and don't use the word leukemia, but use cancer. Use the word cancer while you're talking about your survival and about the sickness. So it seems that they had a very good conversation about that and how cancer, like how he survived cancer. It took 2 years of treatments and all that, and see, like, I'm here, your favorite uncle around. So it helped him to be mentally prepared that the word cancer does not mean death, it means survival. So we kind of like were able to guide the conversation. So when I told my son, they just have come back from Bahrain maybe 2 days, and we sat down, I held his hand, and I told him that I have cancer, and he's like, I'm not worried, it's going to be okay. And I said, yeah, I do believe that it's going to be okay, and we're going to go through it together as a family. In the evening, though, he came and he said to me, like, Aiti, is it okay that even though I know everything's going to be okay, I'm still a bit stressed and I'm a bit worried, like. And I said, of course it's natural. I'm also worried. I've never had cancer, and it makes you worry, like, what are the things that we're going to go through? We don't know. But what was most difficult was my daughter, and I still get sometimes like choked up with it when I told her that the news, like, okay, I'm having breast cancer, and it's not a big deal anymore. The breast cancer is much smaller, like worry. It's very treatable. It's going to be. She went into a shock, and then it was few days after, because she was in Helsinki at our place for Christmas. So she came to me a few days after and she said, Aiti, I can't live without you. I'm not ready for that. And that was hard. That was very hard for me to hear. Of course, it's wonderful to know that your child loves you so much, they don't want to go through life without you. And no, I don't think many children want that. Nobody I know wants their parents dead. The way she said it, it reminded me the whole life journey that I've been with her, and realizing I haven't spent as many years with anyone in this world, not even my husband, as much as I have spent with her. She was from my my first marriage, and I became a single parent when she was 10 months old, and it was me and her through life journey. And this is extremely important to her. I belong in her life, in her head, that life won't be the same without me. And of course it won't be the same, but she might need a lot of support. Watching my daughter or listening, it comes to you. You realize how important this relationship is. The rest of the people, they got to know slowly, one by one. First my brother-in-laws from my husband's side, and then slowly more and more people. I think it was in my third, close to my fourth treatment, where I became very fine with it. Like if someone's like, oh, like, how are you? I'm like, I'm okay, going through breast cancer, so it was like just a normal thing to talk about. And if you don't know, I don't feel uncomfortable you knowing anymore. So I even ended up sending some of my friends who didn't know what I was going through. So I sent them, by the way, I'm going through this. This is why I'm maybe out of the picture, but I'm fine, and the treatments have gone almost halfway through, and this is the thing. But in the beginning, it took a good 3 months to feel comfortable about the diagnosis. Yeah, it took some time for the diagnosis to sink into my brain. What I felt that they were afraid. They were afraid to give me the bad news because I might not be able to take it. The nurses and doctors would call me and say like, we need to postpone the operation. We didn't get the results for your, so the cancer is in my right breast. So like we did not get the results for your right breast, but we got the results for your left breast. And the left breast is clear. But I'm like, yeah, but I need to know. And I can hear from their tone. That's the problem, because when you are talking, I'm a family counselor, so when I sit with people, I can hear the voice tone. I can see that there is something wrong. You are nervous for some reason. You're feeling uncomfortable for some reason. So I'm hearing them speaking, and I can hear their choice of words, and I can feel their uncomfort. They're very uncomfortable speaking to me about this subject. And I remember getting so angry, and I spoke to a wonderful colleague who said to me, Nora, it seems that you're a person who likes to be in control. You need to know what's happening in your life so you know how to plan, because I like my planning. I need to know what I'm doing. So maybe you should tell them that up front. You should need to tell them that I don't mind whatever the news is. Tell me even if it's a bad news. I just need to know it because that's what's hurting me. So when I did that in their last call, before they tell me that I have to go for chemo, I said, listen, I don't care if I lose my breast. I don't care if I need to go through chemo and lose my hair. I don't care even if I die. I'm fine. I'm in peace with it all. But you need to tell me, because I'm a person who needs to plan. I need to see the bigger picture so I could plan. If I'm going to lose my breast, I know how to plan that. If I know that I'm going to go through chemotherapy, I know how to plan that. If I'm going to die, I also know how to plan that. What I need to do before I die, so I can get them done. And that's when they said, well, it seems that it has spread, and it is not as simple as we thought it was in the beginning. And you will have like more detailed information. You will most probably need the chemotherapy, but the doctor will call you for face-to-face, talk about that the chemotherapy and how it's going to happen and so on. I cannot tell you more about it, but I can tell you that it's going to. I was like, oh, thank you. That's all I needed. For 2 weeks, you are dragging me in this stress. And when you're going through such thing as the word cancer is big in our head, it doesn't matter if you have skin cancer, breast cancer, brain cancer. It's very stressful, the word. And what happens is you need to be understanding that human beings are very different. You need to understand, what is this patient need? Not every patient might have the Finnish sisu. Not every person wants to know what's going to happen. They want to live in denial, kind of. So you need to take them much slower. But there are some people like me who need to have things straight. You do not leave me for 2 weeks stressing what's going to happen. I have a family, I have a child, I have a husband. So it's going to be stressful on them as well. So when we were at the doctor, and the doctor says, after the operation, you're going to have to stay a bit longer at the hospital. And we're like, yeah, Of course, it's a natural thing. I've had a major operation, a whole breast removed and restructured. So of course I'm gonna have to stay at the hospital. I know. So she's like, yeah, like 2 nights. And my husband goes like, what? Yeah. Excuse me? She's like, yeah, I know it's too long. My husband, no, yeah, it's too short. At my home country, if someone does a major operation like that, they will say at least 5 nights to 1 week. No short. The person have to be able to calmly, like with support, go to toilet, be able to eat, the food stays, all those stuff. You have to all check those. So it's very, very weird. Then she said, like, I guess in Finland, we believe that everybody should have this Finnish sisu.
That was my next question. As a Finn, what does sisu mean to you?
It's resilience.
Resilience.
How do you survive? How do you manage to keep going on? I do respect the idea of sisu, and I think I am very sisu because I have survived horrible things. But it does not mean that you have to lose your humane needs. Like if you have gone through a major surgery, you might be able to not be able to have only 2 days. Like, I do need more maybe to recover. It might be physically tiring, but it can be also mentally exhausting for me. If I've been for 6 months through a chemotherapy and then go through a whole major operation, I might not be in that place mentally and physically that I could get up and run in 2 days. So you cannot expect me to have the Finnish sisu, like, cut my leg and I'll continue jumping on one. No, wait. I might be one of those who needs proper support and rehabilitation mentally and physically. I think this is also causes a problem that people don't ask for help because you're supposed to have this Finnish sisu, and then it becomes too late. I see people hurting themselves. I see people going into really difficult situations. It can go really, really bad because they were supposed to be sisukas. They were supposed to be, strong. And it's hard. It's long, gray, horrible winters. There is no community support, so everybody lives quite far from their parents. Even if they live close to their parents, they meet up, once a month, once every 2 months. Not everyone can survive that. So you'll find the person who goes for drinks, or somebody who goes for substance use, or somebody who ends up taking their own life. This is because you expected them to be sisukas. No, you have to have the Finnish sisu. You need to survive. Like, yeah, but I need a little bit extra support so I could survive. As a doctor, as a healthcare, as a social worker, you need to understand your patient, your client, your customers, or the service users, to know each one, because they are not the same. And studies have shown that we're not the same. You looking for a job is not the same as me looking for a job, not the same as another white person who's looking for a job. We are all different, different backgrounds, different life stories, different strengths within inside. So I think this is a problem. These are things that I've noticed very clearly in the health system in Finland, or my experience have made me see them even clearer.
One last question on the topic of healthcare. Let me throw a counter argument out there. What they would say is, oh yeah, but if it was so great in Bahrain, why don't you go back to Bahrain? If it's so great somewhere else, like, why don't you go back?
I have to admit, I have said that comment in my 20s many times as well myself. If you think another place is better, then why don't you go there? If you think Thailand is so great, why are you living here in Finland? Why are you complaining about the Finnish daycare food? Go and live in Thailand and take your child there and put your child in the daycares there. And that was a comment that I have said to a person, and I feel that was extremely disrespectful. The comment of go back or go and live, you think that place is so great, why don't you go and live there? It comes when you feel, okay, I used to feel that this person was attacking my country, Finland. I don't like my Finnish, I'm also I love Finland. This is my country, I love Finland. So if you come and badmouth my country, I will get angry. And that anger is very important to understand. Why did I get angry? Okay, I felt that they attacked something that belongs to me. It's like attacking my mom or attacking my child. It's possessiveness. So, okay, Nora, there is no perfect country. Try to remember, okay? So what do you think we should do to make it better? Okay, so how about this? And make a conversation out of that. Not attack and say, go back to your country. Take your children there. No, that's not fair. I'm a Finn. My children are Finns. My mother is a Finn, and my sister is here, and my family are here, and I'm not leaving my family to go and live with my husband's family at this moment. That's not a choice. And I did live in Bahrain many years, and that's a privilege because I was able to compare. So now I have seen how the good parts of Bahrain, and I have seen the good parts of Finland. So why don't I take that experience and put it in the Finnish system and make the Finnish system even more perfect? Why can't I use my experience in what if I go back to my horrible comment to the person who was complaining about the Finnish daycare food many years ago? I would be like, if I would say, I would understand, maybe you could try to find a way how to bring those ideas that you have and put it in the Finnish food system as well. It's not okay to tell a person to leave their country. Someone who have moved here, let's say, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, they had built a life. If I would go back to Bahrain, I will not have my career that I've been building here in Finland. I would not have my mother, my family. I wouldn't have all of these. Why would I leave those? Who are you to tell me where I could live and where I can't live? So that would be my counter. Fight. For me, it has been really difficult because, well, the last time we've met, I was finishing my thesis. I was just starting, and I'm going to finish them, and I had everything, figured out and so on. And going to do my last internship and getting my degree getting my degree. Then suddenly I get this news. We thought it was it is a breast cancer, so we thought okay, it's simple, they're gonna remove it and I'm done. But then they found out soon after Christmas, it was Christmas, New Year's, that it's not going to be just a simple operation, that it has spread, it's aggressive, so it has spread and I have to go through chemo. So I've been going through chemo since February, and now it's April, end of April, almost May. So I have done 4 sessions. It's every 3 weeks I have to do a session, and after every chemotherapy I end up falling 10 days in bed, which I really can't move. In the beginning I started losing my hair. They told me that I'm gonna lose my hair, so I shaved my head anyway, so I wouldn't go through the shedding all over the place. And luckily I looked good, so I'm very happy. I like my look, I'm fine, so this is a good thing. I liked it. I've always wanted to try this look once at least. But this 10 days in bed, I would go through really horrible pains. It's really difficult. And then I will go through 1 week of being fatigued. I will like muscle pain. Then I have like 1 week to 5 days of very good time that I get my energy more or less back. Like yesterday, it's the beginning of my 3rd week, so I can see I met friends. Today I see you. Next week I'm planning to see my mom and see a couple of other people. So I take the opportunity in this 1 week to do as much as I can. I have my kids, I have my husband, I have my family, of course, and friends, so I'm extremely active. It could be the ADHD, it could be anything else, but I love feeling that my life has reason. My expertise and experiences have a reason. So as we discussed, like I have been abducted as a child, so I want to have a reason for that experience. So the reason for that experience is for me today to be able to help others with my expertise and with my experience. I am a giver, I'm a caretaker. So suddenly falling down and need to have people take care of me. I can't get up and cook my own meals and my family's meals, and I'm very much into cooking. I have to have the healthy food at home, and suddenly I can't do that. And then my husband cooks, he's totally fine, but then I would always criticize, where are the vegetables? Oh, there is too little of this. So it should be much healthier. They're not eating healthy enough. I need to get up and save them. So I always take the savior's shoes, and suddenly I need to be saved. I think that hit me the hardest. Suddenly feeling that if I'm not me, then who am I? If I can't give, then who am I?
I've always believed the most powerful thing about video today is that anyone can tell their own story. You really don't need someone like me. In fact, I feel my job is to get out of the way of the story as much as I possibly can. So at the end of that interview, I asked Nora if she'd be willing to try something. A camera she could take home, film whatever she wanted. I told her there was, of course, no pressure. She could say no. To be honest, I was nervous asking. This was my first real documentary about a topic so serious. I didn't know if it was the right thing to do. Looking back now, in the edit, I'm not surprised she said yes. Every hard thing that has happened to her, and there have been many, she finds a way to turn it into something useful for someone else. So of course she wanted you to see what it actually looks like. The chemotherapy treatments, the Finnish healthcare system, the truth. So I gave her the camera, and here is what she and her husband Ali filmed for you. This next part of the documentary is theirs.
Good morning.
Good morning. On my way to 6th treatment. A lot of traffic. So after this, 2 more left. So this should be the last 3 treatments. But the traffic is just crazy in the area of the hospital. because of renovations and constructions in the roads. So it's like, am I getting there in time? So that bothers me a lot. Here we are. So my sixth appointment, closer to the end. Yeah. I'm having 2 different medications before the chemo itself. So now we're ending with the first one. It's coming to an end, and then I'll have the second one and then the chemo. Things are fine. My hand feels cold. I'm not feeling really bad body-wise right now. So I think we're good. Okay. I started the chemo treatment now. The chemo is going through. I have almost an hour there. It might show in the thing. I need to put ice pads on my feet, hands, and eat ice. So my mouth also would not have as much medication going in. It cools down the blood circulation, so the medicine goes less, which makes my nails suffer less. My nails are suffering, but not maybe as much if I didn't have this. Also, my feet tangling sometimes after a while if I haven't used these. So I use them now and I'll use them at home again. Today I have more tolerance for the ice packs. It seems I usually need to remove them every 10 minutes, 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off. But I've been having them for 20 minutes. So I'm very proud of me. At least I get some ice cream today as well in the evening. So there are good parts, but heavy parts through this.
So,
Done for the day.
done for the day.
Now just waiting to remove the needle or the drip off my hand, and then I'm gonna go and have lunch, because from tomorrow my appetite will be down the hill, and yogurt and bananas for the coming few days.
Okay. Let's go.
It's quite cold.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the second day after the treatment, so it's now 24 hours have passed. I haven't slept well because of the cortisone pills, which are the pre-treatment pills. They stop the sleeping, so I managed 2.5 hours only last night. I already feel very fatigued, but a lot of it to do because of lack of sleep. Now I have to take the after treatment injection, which supports the white blood cells to be produced, and my husband's going to give it to me. It doesn't hurt much, but it also causes pain in the coming 2 days, so it's going to be very rough. Fourth day is the hardest. So the day after tomorrow would be the hardest usually, and the day after. And then slowly it starts getting better, but I don't have appetite. I force myself with some yogurt today. I need to force myself drinking, but the water doesn't it's hard. So sometimes I have to get some juice. Any liquids help to stay hydrated, and I need to have a lot of hydration. But yeah, this is my day today. Most probably I'll fall asleep soon again. So I'll have few hours of sleep today.
So we're gonna have this.
Yes.
All right. So I don't think they want to see when you're being injected.
No, we don't. We don't do that.
All right, then we will be back on the next episode. So you just got the injection.
I just got injected. And
How did it feel?
there is a bit of pain when the medicine goes in, but it's nothing big. And now I'm drinking like this aloe vera thing that has a bit of flavor, so makes it easier for me to drink, because I think I'll fall asleep and I need to put the cream in my mouth, which doesn't allow me to drink or eat for 2 hours, because my mouth starts getting too dry and my tongue feels like broken, so I won't. So it prevents that dryness. And
Let's hope for a sleep at least.
I hope for a sleep. The taste of that cream is just what gives me like but it's always good to take just before sleeping, so you sleep the 2 hours.
2 hours.
And you don't have to think about the taste.
So
So wish me luck.
okay, so since last injection you had, it was 24 hours after your treatment.
Yeah. I had the injection on Saturday. So yesterday I've been in a lot of pain, and today it's usually like 2 days after the injection, it's the peak. So I'm going to the peak. I have to check my temperature every few hours, that it would not reach 38. I feel a lot of physical pain. I keep passing out and waking up, and like the sleep is not very regular. My nose started bleeding. It always starts bleeding after 3 days. My nails hurt a lot, so I have to check that they are not like going to fall off. If they, I've been told that I need to tape them if I feel that if my nails are going to fall off. Yeah, I have to take a heavy medication now in 10 minutes that will calm down the pain a little, but it makes me also like drowsy and gives me really hard, like heartburn, and makes me shake as well, but it's much less pain with it. So I have to see, like, sometimes am I okay living with the heartburn and shaking, or do I want to live with the pain? The pain is, for me, that pain is just above my capability. I don't want to live with it. It's too much. But yeah, that's my my life right now. Hopefully by day after tomorrow, I'll be like going up from there.
It will pick up.
Yeah,
All right.
picks up.
Goodbye. All right. So, when was the last time we filmed?
Yeah, that was
It was a day before.
4 days ago.
Yeah, when you had after the injection.
After the injection, we filmed. So after the injection, I get usually like 3 days where I'm in agonizing pain. So I'm too, like, it's been very, very difficult. And it's been 2 days almost that I haven't been able to eat, because my mouth gets very like inflamed due to the chemotherapy, and everything tastes bad. The water tastes bad, so kind of forcing, and you feel sick because it tastes bad. So it's been difficult. Today, at last, I was able to have some like some food. I had spinach soup and 2 slices of sourdough bread, which my husband made. So it was nice to have something.
How long it has been since your treatment?
Now it has been exactly 8 days since my treatment. So today is Saturday. It takes another couple of days for my mouth to heal, and then after that I'll be able to eat. But yeah, brain fog is a lot, so I haven't been. It's difficult to concentrate in reading. I thought that now I'll be at home with my treatments and sick leave. I'll be able to read so much. No, you can't concentrate. Brain is not being able to do that. My nails, they're hurting a lot, so it worries me. But I think overall it's okay. What bothers me the most of the things that happen to me, like the chemo causes menopause for women. So the menopause, the things that came with the menopause, the all these what's happening to my nails, the mouth, what's happening in my mouth. The doctors never told me that this is going to happen or this could happen. The only thing they said, oh, you should color your nails because it gets too dry and they might split. But no one said that they could fall. Nobody said that there will be a lot of pain. Nobody said that my mouth will be like so inflamed. I'm using I do have like creams for it. I have discussed it with the doctor that it makes it impossible for me to eat. And the first time it was so bad. So I did get creams, but all these things were never told to me. So they used to come as a shock. Everything came as a shock to me. Suddenly I'm having heat strokes. I'm having heat, what do you call
Flushes.
it? Yeah, like hot flushes, heat flushes. And also the brain fog and the mood swings, which are all related to the menopause, which I did not know. And even when I told the doctor that my period stopped, they did not tell me that it can cause the chemo can cause menopause. What they said, yeah, chemo can do that. It can stop your period. Luckily, I'm privileged that I do have 2 doctors in my within my relatives. So from my husband's side and my brother who lives in China. So I was able to tell them about what's happening, and they said, "Oh yeah, haven't you been told that women that go through chemo often end up having menopause even at young age?" But yeah, I think lack of information is a lot in Finland. Even when you ask, they don't give you the information you need. I have to ask for it from somewhere else, from outside, from a doctor who's not my doctor. So it's quite devastating and upsetting. But we survive it day by day, and now I'm up to my good days. We're gonna go for a small trip to Lohja, so I'm looking forward to it. A small break.
Right.
Change of scenery. Not my bed anymore. Another bed instead. We are at this moment in Lohja. It's we got a support for a holiday which is offered
to different types of families. So we applied for people like who cannot travel out of Finland and cannot afford buying in Finland holidays. This is the first day of sun, so I'm enjoying the sun, trying to take it easy because I don't know how my skin will react to the sun. This is the first sun of the year for me. I've been moving mainly on a wheelchair, but I managed to get few walks around, very short walks though, not very long walks. Had a strange interaction with Kela. Kela did not pay me for my leave. When you have long leave, sick leave, you need to apply from Kela for the support through those months, because your work will not continue paying you for long sick leaves. Even the doctor was quite confused. Why did Kela request a new statement? So they sent a new statement, and now they will be paying me for June. The thing is, in Finland, people don't go lost if they know how to check. So I was thinking like, okay, when I realized that I wasn't paid properly in June, I went and checked, and then I realized they're saying that there are papers missing. So I'm privileged by knowing that I could do such things. And all of these information are always in Finnish. So thinking of people that might not understand Finnish and need to bring strangers to translate, it's a bit unfair. Like, it's your personal information, personal money, personal problems. You don't want even sometimes your spouse to be exposed to that. It's like my husband doesn't have privacy at all because he's always going to have to ask me, which is unfair for in many cases. So in these kind of moments, I feel like I'm very privileged because I could maneuver Kela and the social system and the doctors, and I know many of my rights, thinking that many don't. It's very sad. Yeah, so these subsidized or like holidays or these tuettolomat, not many people know about their existence. So it's really like, again, it's how privileged I am that I know about these small supports that end up being left and right in the system in Finland. Like, even when I was laying in bed for the first 2 days, I couldn't move yet, but just opening the window and looking that it looks different outside. I'm not in my own apartment anymore. It felt like very refreshing. And today with the sun and all the nature alive makes it so feeling of like, oh, I haven't been on holidays for a long time. We're lucky we're in Finland in these ways that there is so much offered on the table to support people going through different things. I ended up receiving a support money for my son because now that I'm not working, my son's hobbies all ended up stopping. So the social support ended up supporting my son's hobbies. So finding out what is there. So always talk to the social workers in the hospitals. Even if they might not offer you anything, you have to double check. Is there something that can be offered? I'm sorry, my eyes are all water still. Yeah, the tears never stop. So this is how I live, and they get so dry here. So I need to use certain creams underneath my eyes because of the tearing up. But yeah, like, there are always positive things and negative things in every country. So we try to manage.
So we came to the end of our trip or our holiday, and here And it's been nice. I managed to go to the pools. One day I went for swimming, and the other day I just went and sat in the warm pools. Like I felt that it was helping my body or relaxing me in ways. And because I went for swimming, I ended up getting a lot of muscle ache. So I'm having like headaches and like shoulder aches, which I think it's to do with the swimming. Maybe I don't know how to also take things in a relaxed way. My sport in my youth used to be swimming, so somehow I started swimming. And maybe it was too hard on my body to do it suddenly. But it gave me the idea that most probably I'd like to continue with water activities after the treatments are done for my rehabilitation, because it was easier to move in the water, and as long as I'm in the water I don't feel the pain in my body. Like it's easy to move. I do have on Tuesday my appointment with the surgeon, so the surgeon will tell me how the removal will be and what is the procedure of the treatment itself, like the operation again, because it's changed from partial to the full breast due to the spread. So we have to know, and there is restruction, so they would restruct a new breast. So it's a big operation, as I understood. So they have to take me through that. So that's on Tuesday. I'll get more news. So I'm hoping that it goes well.
What's today? Today is the
Last chemo. Today's the last chemo on the way.
hello.
Hello. Hello from my last treatment. It's exciting. My kids made me this nice last chemo t-shirt for this day. So I'm quite positive in many ways. On last Tuesday, like with my appointment with the surgeon, I found out that I'm gonna have to do radiation therapy still. So my sick leave will continue for another around 2 to 3 months, 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. If everything goes well. If complications, that can get longer. I think it made me feel a bit disappointed that it's not yet over. I thought it would be over by the surgery, but we do what needs to be done. The surgeon was very informative, so it was good. I think doctors come in different ways as well. Some give more support, and some are a bit distant. Another complication came up was my right leg started swelling, so I'm gonna have to do some ultrasound to check if I have any type of disorder that needs to be addressed. So we are planning to have a nice end of chemo lunch today. Celebrating today. So my stepdad will be coming with us and with the kids and my husband, and that's a lot of support for me mentally. And I think this is really nice to feel that you're not alone in this journey. It's very important to have people around. I've been getting so many messages from friends and work colleagues that are so excited for my last treatment, and it's nice. It's been nice.
It's nice to be.
It's nice to be.
Feels the people around you.
Yes. positive people around, and
Makes it easy.
makes it much easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, how are you?
It's been some time. It's been 1 week and 1 day since my treatment and my last filming. It's been very rough, a bit harder than every other treatment. It was the last chemo treatment, as we said, and I was excited. But the doctor sent me after the treatment for ultrasound, and they found out that I have blood clots. And she did explain that the chemotherapy can like progress the blood clots faster, so she was worried that it was blood clots when she realized that I had some symptoms. And so I've been put on blood thinners for 6 months now, it will be. That means I get injected every day, every night. Before going to bed, I have to take an injection. And the blood is much more liquid now, so I bleed much faster. The nurse will be calling me on Monday to discuss these things, and of course, like how this will affect my operation and surgery, like that's coming in August.
So, what is your next now?
I'm having my meeting with the plastic surgeon next on Wednesday or Thursday. And then after that, everything stops until the surgery time. And surgery is first week of August. Yeah, I've been feeling very down. I've been crying a lot. It's been hard. I smile. We joke. This is how we get through our life, usually, in our house. So I think the most difficult part is that you don't get to be given enough information by the doctors of all the things that could happen to you and what are the symptoms. I was just told, like, okay, you have this blood clots, this is what you need to take. No one told me that this is going to happen, this might happen, be careful of this. The only thing they said that you need to be careful, you can bleed faster. And that makes it that I have to search for answers, and when you are going through so much pain, it's very difficult to concentrate in searching. And if you call them, the nurses are nice enough, but you feel like the Finnish society or the Finnish way, that you don't call unless you can't stand it. And you feel guilty for calling. And we're not supposed to feel guilty for calling. And because we laugh and we joke, people think that I'm okay. And I'm not.
A few months had passed since Nora and I had our last conversation. I wanted to check in, see how she was doing. I brought my camera along in case she was up for filming our chat. Chemo was done, but a major surgery was coming up in 6 days. I also wanted to talk about the video diary and pick up some of the GoPro footage. At this point, I still hadn't watched any of it. I was curious how she found the vlogging process and if she wanted to continue.
Hi, I'm Zim. Nice to meet you.
Like I was thinking, like this area is nice to film.
Yes,
like, it's
absolutely.
It's not
Oh, it's lovely.
perfect.
It's good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. Tell me what's been happening since.
I think after the last treatment, the last chemo, it was very heavy. It stayed for 2 weeks. My weakness and difficulties were for 2 weeks. So I had these lows where I was like, why also the blood clots? And can't we just finish? And I couldn't eat any solid food for more than 2 weeks. So it felt like I was extremely tired. I lost within those 2 weeks 5 kilos. So it was a very heavy 2 weeks. So Ali took me once downstairs and filmed me, and I was crying through the filming. I think I didn't cry in many videos, but that video I remember I was just, it's like I had enough. And also what happened to me, I ended up getting blood clots. They found out about it in my last chemo. So my leg got swollen so bad, and only one leg, so they checked it and then there was blood clotting. So now I have to be on blood thinners for 6 months. And that's now a stress for my operation, which is in 6 days, because it's a major operation. So they're removing the whole breast, they're taking tissues from the back to construct a new breast. So I'm getting another cut in my back, and that one is getting constructed, and my second breast is going to be made smaller to fit the same size to the breast that is getting the operated on. So if my blood is too thin, there is a danger of bleeding. Like extreme bleeding. So that's a bit worrying. Like, I don't know what's happening. So it's like, you don't know. I'm sure that they're not going to operate me while any dangers, but still it's like, whoo, yeah, I don't want to think about it. I was telling Ali as well yesterday, I don't know why, but since they have told me that it's so high and it's so dangerous, I can bleed by anything. And if I fall, for example, I have to go to the emergency to double check there is no internal bleeding, because anything can bleed so fast, even inside. I had a migraine. They had to put me straight away to CT scan to my brain to make sure there is no internal bleedings or something. So they everything is worrying. So it's like these kind of thoughts that I've never thought of going under the knife. I've never been worried about it. This is the first time I'm feeling worried. So it's scary, and especially the younger child sees that fear, so ends up feeling like, like coming closer all the time and asking questions and stuff like that. So it goes like, how can I keep him also calm and not promise him something that you don't have the hand in? I cannot promise him that everything's like, I'm gonna be okay, because what if I'm not? So it's like, it's important to keep him also positive, but not with false information, so he won't be hurt if things go wrong. So it's quite stressful. Yesterday I started suddenly telling Ali, like, do I need to tell them so much that I love them? Do I need to hug them? Like, what if I don't come out of the surgery? You never want to think of children, like your own children, being hurt. So it's not a nice feeling. And we did have a talk with Ali that, like, about if a while ago, like, where do we want to be buried and how do we want to be buried? And I did say, like, I'd like to be buried maybe in Bahrain, because there is so many people that visit the graveyard, and like the memory of me might be longer alive there. And there are many of Ali's family there, so if Dani goes and like Ida goes, we are all there, like the whole family. Their grandfather is there and I'm there, and then their great-grandmother is there, who, like, my daughter knows. So it's like everybody is in the same place. But it was interesting talks that we did have those. You never think of death. You never think of writing anything down, that this is what I want, or these are the things you want, and where do you want to be buried, and so on.
Not Finland.
No. And the kids they might not want to stay in Finland as well. These older kids, they said that, like, in Finland it seems there is no future. It's sad that in your own country, your own child is going like, no, there is no future here. I'd rather go to a country where I get respected. Ida is in programming, and all of her fellow colleagues are not getting jobs in Finland.
The more we talked, the more one name kept coming up. Ali. But I realized I didn't know anything about him, or about their relationship, how they found each other. So I asked her to take me back to the beginning.
When you met Ali.
We haven't talked about that. Maybe you want to tell that story.
Yeah, that could be something we can discuss. What happened was I was living in Cyprus with my daughter, and I have just separated, divorced from my ex, and been a year single there. I really love Cyprus. I enjoyed my life there. But when my daughter came from school and asked me if all the Muslims are going to go to hell, I asked her, where do you bring that information from? And then she said, my teacher said so, that if you're not a Greek Orthodox, you're going to hell. A part of her identity is Muslim Arab, so I don't want her to grow without knowing that part, like how beautiful they can be, what a wonderful culture and beautiful language and beautiful food. Bahrain was the only Gulf country that I know that there are Christian Bahrainis, Jewish Bahrainis, Muslims. They are from different types of sects, and they are all friends. They all sit on same tables, and nobody judges a person who chooses to go there, and the other one doesn't judge the person who wants to go there. They live in so much harmony. This is what I wanted my daughter to see, and so we moved there. At that point, I knew Ali, my husband. I knew him as a friend on Facebook only. So we were really just friends. And he's a race driver. So he was 2009's champion in Bahrain for the karting. So I went on Facebook trying to find somebody from my Bahraini friends who is going to go and watch the 2010's Germans Grand Prix, like it was. They didn't show it in the hotel I was in, and I saw that Ali was online. So I asked him, "Aren't you watching the Formula One, the race today?" Like, I am in Bahrain, please come and pick me up. So there was no questions, like there was, like it wasn't please, it wasn't no, come and take me, and we go there. And he came, he took me, we went there. He came, he was wearing a suit because he was coming from work, and and tie, and with his sport car. And I'm like, he's not bad looking. He looked horrible in photos. That guy is not bad looking. Okay, but he's young. He's not let it go. And we went to the cafe, and we were laughing. He's joking. He has a very good sense of humor. So I was laughing from the very beginning. Next day, we ended up seeing each other again. It was so much chemistry. It felt so right to sit there and laugh and feel that life is good. And that happened for 3 days in a row. And on the 4th day, we were like, no, that, like, someone asked us on the 3rd day, like, are you like boyfriend and girlfriend? Is that your new girlfriend? Someone asked him. He's like, no, she's just a friend. She's like, no, she cannot be. There is a lot more than just friendship. And it was the day after where we felt like, yeah, let's have more fun. And fun started. I didn't want to get married again. So the idea was like, we're going to have fun until I move out and come back to Finland. It was soon after that, Ida was like saying, I like this Ali. I really like this Ali. He's good. He's a good guy. Slowly, I'm working, he's working. So in Bahrain, it was only 1 day off per week. So Fridays, which is their weekend is Friday and Saturday. And suddenly, Ali started asking me, at that point, we were just boyfriend, girlfriend, like, is it okay if he took Ida, my daughter, to his family on Fridays, so she wouldn't be left at home alone on a weekend. And I was like, yeah, fine, if they are fine with her, like, going and being with them. And Ali's family was so acceptance to Ida. They became very protective over her. They felt that they need to support her like over, because she's been with a single mother, so she needs more support than any other kid. And that made it easier for Ali to say, okay, I'm bringing Nora for you to see. Of course, it was hard in the beginning because I come from a different culture. Being a Finn, I have my feminist ideology and my own right thought and so on. But so they didn't know what to expect. And I have said that I'm not changing for any family. I am going to be me. And his family, when they met me, I remember his father was very stiff first time he saw me, and he was asking me questions. But the second time he saw me, he was laughing. And by a week time, he was asking, like, why are you living in an apartment? Come and move here. Come and live here with us. Because don't spend that money for an apartment. And it became like, I became his daughter. He doesn't have daughters. He has 7 sons. And so I became the daughter that he never had. And because I think he accepted me as I am, and I accepted him as he is. So he has been waiting for Ali to propose for over a year. And he had a ring. They have bought him a ring.
Just when we had been talking about Ali, the doorbell rang.
Is he came?
Yes.
Hello. 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 Good to see you. Good to see you. How you doing?
So I asked Nora to see if Ollie wanted to join us.
Do you wanna talk about Bahrain, about our engagement? Do you wanna add something? Because I said like a bit, but we could do it together, for example.
Okay.
What do you think?
If you want me, then
You can.
I can join you.
Well, tell me about the photo. Let's start there.
Let's start there.
So
This picture.
Kimi Räikkönen is in back there, behind these, standing there.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's happening there?
What is happening?
What's happening? Hello.
Hi.
So this was in 2013, Bahrain Grand Prix. Between 9 to 6 months prior to Bahrain Grand Prix, I had to, me being active in motorsport back home and all of this. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me do it special in a place where I got to know her from. It was the motorsport. When it comes to a Formula One events, usually it's very difficult. It's not that easy to get like approvals, and
Yeah.
there is broadcasters, there are like sponsors, there are names that, and we are dressed up as a representative of Bahrain Motorsport Federation and Bahrain Formula One Circuit, International Formula One Circuit. So
Yeah.
it was interesting when I approached the board there, and I was like, okay, I'm thinking to do this. And they were excited.
They
And-
suddenly, because they've been friends of, many of them have been our friends.
Because,
we've been
yeah.
working with them. So they've been waiting for when are those two gonna, like, you know, get together, like officially, like it's time.
It was funny. They gave us. They told me, okay, how do you want it? I was like, yeah, well, she's a fan. Maybe in front of Kimi Räikkönen. Like at that time, it was Kimi Räikkönen driving.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, maybe it sounds like nice. But then also they offered me if I would like to do it in the garage,
in the
pit
briefing
lane.
as well.
It was also in driver briefing. I was like, oh no, driver briefing is like, it's too much pressure. What if she says no? Like,
In front of all the drivers.
I will be. So yeah, the stress was high, but then it was funny because then we had to take many approvals until one of the last approval was through the race director himself for the Formula One. And he was like, okay, I'll approve it if that will be in our big screen and we are witnessing whether she's gonna say yes or no. I was like, oh no. So it's a final grid. So literally that time, every team is like on their, no one, you can't talk to them because they're preparing.
Yes.
They just finished like yesterday qualifying. It's a very intense moment when it comes to the race itself. And I'm talking, then they give me the signal, okay, the photographer is coming, then kind of you can now proceed your proposal.
And it was, and your plan was in front of Kimi Räikkönen's car, which was he fifth position that year, or I can't remember, something like that. And Nico Rosberg was first position.
Yeah.
So I kept wanting, like, okay, the first car I went to check was Kimi's car, and then after that I wanted to go and check Nico Rosberg's car, and I keep wanting to go there, and he keeps pulling me back
And
here.
I'm trying to keep her.
I'm like, why is he keep pulling me here? I don't want to see Kimi Räikkönen's car anymore. That's it. I'm done. I've seen it. I've checked. Everything is. I want to go and check that. And it's like.
And I was pulling her, like, wait, I'm looking there. They said now. Then I was like, okay, finally. Okay, can you come here? Stand here. Okay, listen, now. Okay, now I need to say what I need to say. Okay, then here where I was telling her, like, listen, I think, I don't know how does it feel for you. For me, this is a big moment in life. I think I came to a realization since we started dating, all of that. You are an amazing woman that I would like to continue my life with. And I think she was like, yeah. And still
then-
she in her head, she wants to go. And I'm like, no, wait, listen more. Like, and I have like the ring here, and I'm like, should I put my hand in my pocket or no? So I was like, listen, you're the women. Let's start again. You're the women.
Yeah.
That's it. I think it was a moment like that, beautiful moment that we had, that
No, it
we
was
shared it, and luckily the photographer reached and he was able to
Yeah.
capture this moment.
Our relationship started here with the Formula One, and I remember like it was a few weeks after that, still strangers in the, you would sit in, like sitting in a cafe, there was a table of two girls talking, and they were like, did you hear about the guy who proposed to his girlfriend in the Formula One? Why can't our men be like that? Why is it? So we're hearing our story being told by strangers, and it was so weird.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful. It was nice. And even it was this year when some people in the Formula One being asked about what are the highest and lowest, like in their careers within the Formula One in Bahrain. And one guy has said that it was the moment that there were two people, two lovebirds who had their engagement in the grid, and that was still my highest. Like that's still their highest, the highlight of the Formula One, and it, like how Formula One is not
Oils and
just
rubber.
not oil and rubber. It can bring a lot of things. For me, it has a lot of memories. It has friendships. It has romance.
Yeah.
The year after we got pregnant, and
The next Formula One, I think.
Exactly, next Formula One race. I got pregnant that day, and we got our son.
Yeah, this is the story.
Well, could you tell me about your helmet?
Yeah, so this helmet, I won my championship. This helmet I raced in the world final. This is Fernando Alonso. It's either Kimi or Lewis Hamilton. Niki Lauda, because I was a big fan of Niki Lauda. Sebastian. And I have for sure here, like, I think Nora's saying, it's a small one. It's Nora with heart. So always I had it. It's something that always I wanted.
It's my initial
Nora Cassandra. So I wanted
I
her.
didn't even know that. I didn't realize that.
I wanted her to be also with me, especially when you race as a driver. Some people say motorsport is dangerous, but I feel I wanted her to be like the safeguard of me when I have it. So yeah, so it's kind of something very valuable.
Yeah.
I think I'll keep it for life.
Yeah.
Including Nora Cassandra.
It's like yesterday I was saying that I couldn't imagine me going through this without you, because every time things were so heavy, you were able to somehow calm me down and direct things.
Yeah, I think for sure it's a difficult process. It's not easy. When this thing comes, you realize all what it takes is one phone call and your whole life stops. For how long? Initially it was 6 months. Now 6 months turned to another 6 months. I approach it this way. I go to the unit, the cancer unit with her. So I see women going without the date to an end.
How lucky are we?
We know that this is kind of 8 sessions and we're gonna stop from very upfront beginning. I was telling her, listen, just so you know, I don't want anything in return. I'm doing this from my heart to you. I don't want you to think that this is a price behind it. There is an effort, something, nothing. I just want you as a person I've chose in my life to be living with the rest of my life. I want you to look after. And when we're done, we're going to close the whole chapter. I think I told you this. We're going to close this chapter of what we went through. We're going to open a new chapter of our life.
Yeah.
And this new chapter, I don't know yet. How does it look like?
Yeah.
Because still we are in the process. The most important that we both are like close to each other.
Yeah.
I'm holding your hand. You're holding my hand. I'll be there hopefully until end of the road. I told you, no matter where it is, if it's my road ends at first or if it's yours, I'm not afraid of anything. This is I don't know, we call it sunnat al-hayah. This is the
Part of life.
part of life. We achieved in this life. We have beautiful kids. They are the future. They are the generation. I think we raised them. We give all what we had as much as we can. So nothing to be afraid, nothing to be sad. In fact, it's time to be happy. Yes, it's tough. Everyone looks at me at work, people that they know what Nora's going through. My family back home, they're like, oh my God, Ali, I don't imagine how. I was like, no, it's going great. It's going great because I want it to look like great. I think humor helps sometimes, not every time, not in all situations. Sometimes it can be in a wrong spot. It's very understandable, but at least I use humor in this process just to lighten.
But even one of the doctors, like after our appointment, she said, you guys, this humor that you have between each other, that is the best medicine. You have the best medicine. Keep this humor because it's such a good medicine.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was good. I think the humor helped a lot through this process. We did laugh a lot because of the positivity and so on. So actually when he is filming me or taking photos, I smile. I smile in those photos, and then we have this really good smile that is shining and so on. And people think that we are fully okay, even though sometimes we're not 100% okay. But because of the positive energy, it comes out that way. And that can be it's a blessing that we have it. But it can also, we have realized it can become like a curse when you go through hard things. Like when we were doing my last treatment, and everybody suddenly thought like, yes, that's it, you're done. And like, no, it's just the chemotherapy that is done. There is so much more. Now I have the blood clot. I have the surgery coming, and it's a huge major surgery, and it's a scary. And then there is the radiation therapy, and the symptoms from the chemo will take another 6 months for them to even go away. So it's not ended, but because of that smile, because of that positivity that we have together, what happens is people thinking that they are okay. Look how she's smiling, so she must be okay. But that moment, of course, I was in a good place because of the positivity that you bring also to the table. We were looking at the people in there who are there alone. They would sit there for 6 hours taking their chemotherapy all alone. And you didn't leave me one day, like every single time you were there.
Yeah, I think if I would say, first, I have love to you with no conditions. I don't have any condition. I'm not putting condition that, okay, anything I'm looking for. I just love you. As simple as that. And I would say something that helped us through this process is the communication. If you communicate, if you talk, the hard topics, because moments comes, I'll be very honest, it's not easy, it's hard. Every day, I think I'm telling her, because now for example, I'm giving her injections every day, and I'm not a nurse, but I think many people can do it. But somehow, even giving an injection to the person you love, because whatever, and you see the pain that they go through, then even my heart hurts every night. I don't know. I have to do it to her again. So to go through this mentally, and still you need to show up to work next day. That's like nothing happened, because you need to perform. Then you need to come back home. You need to make sure kids are fine. You need to clean the house. You need to do the laundry. You need to wash the dishes. You need to cook foods without making your partner feel guilty that they're not able. This is, I think, the most difficult one. That's why I keep talking to her. I was like, hey, it's okay. I don't, okay, this is my personality. I don't make it sound as a big deal. Even though from inside I'm broken, it's hard, it's very tough. I wish no one goes through it, but this is life. Someone will go through it. Someone right now is going through it. They just got the news yesterday or today. You need to get closer to the one you love. Have a communication, talk to them. If you don't have, I'm sure you have a friend, maybe, hopefully, because I can't imagine going through all of this by yourself.
Yeah.
I think in this case, in this whole process, it was like, okay, A, we know what she's going through. She's diagnosed. B, are we professionals? No.
No.
Who are professionals? People who went to school, study, became doctors, and they know. So we need to fully trust that they're doing their job and not question. They're doing their job, and I clearly see they're doing. So I'm not going to a hospital and having to look, okay, how the doctor will sit, how the doctor will talk to address us, how they will, even though some moments maybe
It was frustrating because we didn't get all the information.
Sometimes you may feel that, okay, there was some acts that not the way you might feel nice about it, but it wasn't something that I was trying to focus on, because my focus was how to get her better.
Yeah.
So your health is important.
Like I would get out from the doctor frustrated because the doctor didn't give me enough information, and he would be like, but you know, at least we got this, and at least this is, and we know that this is happening, so let's go through it day by day. So he doesn't allow me to dwell on the why the doctor did not give me the information of why there was things about it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, like, even those moments where we didn't get enough information, you were also frustrated, but you were also trying to save me from the frustration that was being caused. So I kept...
Absolutely. It's contagious.
Yeah.
It's contagious, I would say. If you're upset or your partner is upset, all what you need to ignite the situation, and it can fume and flame everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I will agree. I will support your frustration. I will acknowledge what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But very quickly, I'll try to find a way to calm the situation, because I want you to also, I need to give you the power to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's a long process.
Yes.
I played sport all my life. I played competitively, so I know all of these psychological elements when you're under pressure. How does it look like?
Yeah.
So
Now
all of them are coming in
continue.
handy for me.
Yes.
Like for me, I'm blessed because of my sport background. I know that, okay, as much as I'm fuming inside, I know like it's not time to show, it's time to control, because we need more time. People ask me, tell us, I'm sure you're going through tough. I was like, yes, I am. But it's not the right time for me to pour everything. Because if I pour, then probably I might collapse.
Yeah.
Is it the right time to collapse? Absolutely not.
But something positive were nurses. The nurses have been very nice. towards
Absolutely.
that. The nurses are amazing. The nurses who are in cancer treatment, like departments.
Yes.
I think they should be paid so much more, and they should be respected so much more. They do so much work, and they really, really help. They've been so nice. Like
Sure,
even
definitely.
when I have been calling, like if I've been frustrated of a doctor because I didn't get enough information, and then I have to call to ask more questions or something, the nurses who accept those phone calls are so patient, so calm. They would go with me every step, and then they will say that I will ask the doctor about this and this, and I'll come back to you. And they'll call me back, and they will inform me with the information that suddenly I needed or something. So I have been amazed of I've never seen this much empathy in anywhere in healthcare in Finland before. So there has been positivities, and it wasn't all negative, but it's a journey that we had to go through.
It will pass.
It will.
Thank you very much for sharing. There's so much I'm learning from both of you. Yeah.
I think we make a good team together. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
When you put two people together, they just make things right.
We call it in basketball, you're my first pick. Good morning.
Maybe not.
So, where are we?
Now we're at the Puista Sairaala, which is the park hospital.
Okay.
And I am getting ready for the operation. A bit nervous, not a bit, quite nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know that doctors in Finland are good in what they do, and they've been very good and successful in breast cancer removal and restructuration. So I think I'm in good hands. It still doesn't take the nervousness away, but yeah.
How long would the surgery would take? More or less?
Around 7 hours. So I'm gonna go in soon. Expected from 8 to 3. 6 hours, 7 hours, yeah. 7
And any idea how long you'll be in the hospital for afterwards?
Expected 5 days.
Expect.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you after.